Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago, and across the globe. Welcome to Real Talk Corner. Hadassa, how are you?
Hi, I am fine, thank you. How are you, Esther?
Hadassa, how are you?
Hi, I am fine, thank you. How are you, Esther?
Well, good evening, Trinidad and Tobago, and around the globe. This is Real Talk Corner, where conversation sparks change and every voice matters. This is your host, Dr. Esther Cruickshank, and we have started a bit late because we've been having some challenges with our internet. And we're hoping to get it sorted out very soon, but it's really giving us a run for our dollar. Well, I hope you all had a wonderful Tuesday. It is Tuesday, the 9th of September. Yes, the best month in the year. Yes, it is. But and here it is, my co-host, bubbly Hadassa Charles McLeod. I'm always happy to have her with me on this program. But I must tell you all that I have to leave. It's sad, but I have to leave shortly to go on to do something that is of great importance. And Hadassah is hopefully would not be sticking as the internet. We trying to get it properly organized. But it's a wonderful Tuesday. How have you been, Hadassah?
Well, it feels good to not be sticking anymore. Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome to another episode of Real Talk Corner Live. It's good to be back. Esther, how are you doing?
A little bit exhausted. A lot has been happening, and in life, sometimes you make errors, and sometimes you have to pay daily for those errors. And then again, sometimes you make errors and you just could kind of get away from it. And I always say, the African people, I don't know, you don't get a break in this country, whether it's in government, whether it's in public service, whatever it is. To me, it's always a challenge. But then the scriptures say, how you make your bed, it shall lie. And then you have to ask for mercy and you have to ask for grace. And you just have to get up and move on, and you can't dwell on nothing. Just keep going, because there are things that happen that could really strike a nerve in your body and cause you to get frustrated. But listen to me, people. Don't get frustrated over nothing, right? What is to be, I always believe, will be. You may go through struggles, you'll go through situations, whatever it is. When the right time comes, you will overcome it, you will get over it. And let me say, nobody is perfect. We all make errors in this life. And sometimes you just have to take a beating for it. And sometimes it's not even, should I say, it's not even your fault. You try to help somebody. But if you don't go according to what they say, there's politics in everything. If you don't go according to that, sometimes, things just blow haywire. But all in all, Gil, God is good. I'm alive. I'm well. I'm kicking strong. And nothing will break my stride. All right. I celebrate this month the goodness of God for bringing me on to the earth in the land of the living. And I am grateful for another to be able to see, close off one chapter, 1 year to move on to another. So I am giving God thanks for that. Soon I'll be rejoicing, celebrating another great year to come. Yeah, so that's about it. So I want to encourage everybody, stay strong.
Indeed, I mean, I feel like that was a very coded message. And I feel like you, Esther, know the true meaning of it, but it doesn't mean that we can't glean anything from it. So, yeah, I mean, I would want to continue to encourage everybody to, in the midst of even difficult things, to remember
Yes.
who you are and to not let anybody's energies or people's actions affect how you navigate the world. You want to continue to be kind and you want to continue to be gracious um, against all odds. So, good message, all the same. I think we had a couple wins this week. What do you think?
Oh gosh, yeah. Start one. We have had a couple.
Well,
We have
school
had.
reopened, and this is the first time in more than 10 years where there were not parents on the news complaining about their school, their children's schools not being reopened,
Yes.
or about the schools being in a dilapidated condition, or about uncertainty as to when children will be able to get back to school. I really want to congratulate the Minister of Education, Mr. Dowlat, because he has been able to do something that we have not seen in a very long time. Even the
Yes. Yeah, yeah,
National
yeah. Hats
Parent
off to
Teacher
him. Yes.
Association
Mm-hmm.
has congratulated him. And I feel like we really need to highlight what he was able to do in getting all these schools ready for the new term.
That's true. And you see in here that the NPTA sent praises, because it has been, I mean, I can't remember. It is a historic school repairs because I can't remember when last you heard of a school term starting and there wasn't issues with the facilities or the sewer or the something was wrong. And it's the first time, I think, with the exception of one school in Tobago. And I think by now they're probably getting it right. So, yes, Dr. Dowlat, we want to really salute you and, let Trinidad and Tobago know that you deserve an award because this is something we haven't had in a decade and more. So we're really
Well,
thankful that parents, you haven't been seeing any parents protesting and teachers and principal
no,
complaining because you would see a lot of that over the years. So it is a good thing and it shows what this government that is in power and governing our country is doing a great job. And if that could happen, something that haven't been that you could not have heard or seen for in years, there is much more to come. Yeah, and I
indeed.
think it's because of due diligence and having a prime minister who is ensuring that our ministers do what has to be done to ensure that the citizens of this country is properly represented and taken care of. So, yeah, really, really congratulate him on that effort to get it right.
Indeed. I mean, it's an odd feeling when ministers are actually performing, when they're actually doing their job. So it's a bit disconcerting. I hope we will get accustomed to this new normal.
Let's hope. I think once it's under the United National Congress government, I think it's once it start like this, I cannot see it going backwards because now they have set a train, they set something in train, and they just have to follow. And of course, they have to keep doing what they're doing and get better and better and better. Yeah, but it felt good to know that you had no protests and complaint and people parents complaining the school and the teachers it was a good feeling, yeah, for the NPTA and tutor to talk about it as well. It meant that it really 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 was something of
Yeah,
historic um,
yeah,
business being done. So yeah, we
yeah.
give them
But I
hats
think
off
I
to that.
remembered that like early in the school vacation, they announced that school would not open on the first Monday. It would open on the 8th instead. And I think they had the foresight and they recognized that maybe we need a little bit more time.
Hmm.
So I really liked
To
how
get
they act
things together.
preemptively. Yes,
Yes.
you know. So I feel like that is so indicative of the way this administration works, very proactively,
Hmm.
so that they recognize they needed more time. They got the work done, and no students were inconvenienced. I think big kudos for that.
So now if Penny want to talk about compare the UNC with school reopening with the PNM and school reopening. She talks about comparing, but this is what I would want to compare. I hope she pay attention to that and she should, she should be talking. I didn't hear her. Let it Let it be that people were complaining about the schools not this. You would have heard her voice. But you see, they don't like to give kudos to when things is done properly. And we have another scenario where the kidnapping of our pilot, I think is I can't remember his name, but where they actually found him, and I think this is good news to because everybody was up in wimps and wondering if he was murdered or whatever. And the fact that they found him and one of the criminal minded persons was killed, and you know Hadassa, sometimes I know people would say you have to think godly and you have to be forgiving. Or when these criminal minded young people who, I mean, I blame parents a bit, not 100%. These young fellas who are, hmm, it is sad, but they have not been brought up in light of good upbringing, parenting, probably poverty to a certain extent. And I don't want to put poverty there because I was brought up in poverty. A lot of people who are successful today were brought up in a poverty environment. But I think it has to do with your mindset. It has to do with the training of your parents, because being brought up in poverty and your parents not talking to you and instilling good values could be detrimental to our young people, because nobody to talk to them. All they're seeing around them in the environment would be criminal activities, crime, guns, whatever they have been seeing. They would have thought that that is the right thing to do. And I have experienced that with a little 4-year-old a couple of years ago when he asked if, the vehicle I was driving, if I stole it. And if these young children are growing up in an environment where that is what they're seeing, they think they grow up and think that is the right thing to do because it's what their father doing, their uncle doing, or whatever the case may be. And it is sad that we have to lose them. But the truth is, it's better they died than our good loved ones died. Because how would they have felt if this pilot, this gentleman would have been found dead? That would have been heartbreaking to his family. Okay, so is we see again that not only the Minister of Education, but here we have the Commissioner of Police and his team doing a good job, and we are seeing the fruit of what has started to be in their labor, right? So I want to say hats off to the cop and to all those who played an important part, the search and rescue team. I want to say hats off to all of them.
Today, the police would have carried out a successful and precision rescue of the kidnapped victim, Mr. Daniel Kawal, in the building located in the background at around 11 a.m. this morning. The team of officers would have included members of the Port of Spain Task Force, the Special Investigations Unit, Western Division Task Force, Anti-Kidnapping Unit, in an operation spearheaded by Superintendent Pariman and Assistant Superintendent Singh. Mr. Kawal is currently seeking medical attention and he is safe and will be reunited with his family soon. Unfortunately, one of his hostage takers / guards would have engaged my officers this morning, and in an exchange of fire, he was wounded and taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. I hope that this would serve as a warning to other persons who wish to engage in that sort of illegality. The time has come to change. The tide is now. Please turn away from crime and look towards profitable, legal means of making a living. This end is not for you. Okay? At this point in time, the police are carrying out an operation. We are also in the process of looking for 2 further suspects. So we are asking the media if they can give us some space while we carry out our operation.
So you heard it, and I really pray God protection over him, that he would be able to continue to do this work that he is in and do it successfully for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. I just really applaud these people. We are seeing the evidence of their hard work, and I know they're going to continue. And I'm happy that Mr. Kamal was reunited with his family, and we didn't have to go into mourning to hear that the pilot was found dead somewhere. So I'm really happy for that. And, I just want this to continue. And he warned the criminals, you all be aware. If you like yourself, if you love life, stop the criminal activities, surrender your heart to the Lord, do something with yourself. But this is what's going to happen to you all. It wouldn't be that the citizens have to live in fear just now. It will be the criminals. Yeah, Hadassa?
I mean, indeed, I feel like this fills me with so much hope because I think we got really accustomed to the opposite happening. We got accustomed to bracing for bad news. Um, and this is really, really encouraging. I mean, people were wondering why the commissioner of police chose to put the Punisher logo above his captain armband, and people are recognizing now. He gave a warning to the criminals that they're not going to be tolerating this anymore, and I'm feeling like the more wins and the more victories that we have in areas like this, because this is the second successful rescue that they have done for a kidnapped victim in a very short space of time. So I'm feeling that the more wins that we have, it is going to correspond with a drop in crime, because I think criminals are going to think twice about carrying out illicit activities and hurting members of the public. So I think this is all very positive. I also saw today as well, was it today or yesterday, the first day of school, where the Minister of Homeland Security, Raj Alexander, and also the Commissioner of Police, they paid visits to different schools as they also implemented the SRPs who would be stationed at different high risk schools. Of course, the high risk schools were not mentioned just for the safety and the protection of these particular schools. But the Prime Minister herself has said enough is enough, right? So we are snuffing out crime at all levels, and we are no longer tolerating that type of behavior. And it is time for us to see that type of turnaround in our society. I feel like the PNM had us on our back foot with our back against the wall, and we were almost left to feel helpless and hopeless. And they did nothing, even when we protested, when we asked for women to have pepper spray, and when we asked for certain means to protect ourselves, they literally did nothing and left us as sitting ducks for the criminals. So I am glad that it is that we are pushing back, and I am glad that we are actually having positive results.
That indeed is so good. Also, I heard some people talking about the officers being with gun. They don't think they should have gun. Listen, there are students who go into school and they have weapons. So I support the officers with the gun. Listen, if parents don't want to train their children and train them to be respectful and train them to stay away from a life of crime, this is what has
Yeah,
to
then you
happen to
leave it to the
protect.
state to take care of them.
Exactly, right? So I am supporting the police officers in the school with their guns. Now, I just would want to make sure, would like to know that they are properly trained. They understand how, I mean, it wouldn't be the first attempt is to shoot, but if it is that they have to because of what is happening, because there are parents who comes into school as well with weapon, comes to beat up other children. And it's a whole lot that is happening, but I like the stand that our Prime Minister is taking. And while we are at that, I also came across a little clip where the Colombian, I think, government is asking our government, through our Prime Minister, to search for bodies or something of the sort that for the boat that was blown up and all of that. And I like the stand that she took. She said, she made it clear that her government would not divert resources to search for the bodies, insisting the nation's Coast Guard will remain focused on protecting the borders. And I am so happy about that. And then I saw where she said, we are in a war against drugs and trafficking. There will be there will be consequences. I much prefer seeing drug and gun traffickers blown to pieces than seeing hundreds of our citizens murdered each year because of drug fueled gang violence. No, we will not waste resources to look for those bodies. Our Coast Guard resources will be utilized for the protection of our borders, not to look for dead drug traffickers. However, if any carcass washes up on our shores, we will recover it. And I like the stand that she's taking. Somebody has to stand up and be harsh and be determined because they are drug. Listen, these people, men and women who are doing this, they don't care about the outright citizens, you know. They would kill us without thinking. And the Colombian government is bold-faced and very bold-faced to want to ask our government to put out money to go and look for dead body. We don't want to know about that. They're dead. They're dead. They had no right to be there. And this is the stand I think we have to take, a draconian kind of stand to let these criminal-minded people know we're not making no joke. Our government and our police service, they're not making any joke. Look at these young fellas. You think they really care about anybody? They will shoot you without thinking. And when they get killed, Colombians are fast and bold to come and talk about put out our resources when you have people in this country suffering and need money to pay bills, to buy food to eat and whatever, and we must submit ourselves to that. I am supporting my Prime Minister 100%. Where they are, let the sea sing them out. If they wash them, the carcass here, well, they'll find the body and all you come and take it, if so be it, if they so desire to let that happen. But I support that. Harsh measures is going to let them know we're not playing this time around. It's not like the PNM. Mm-mm.
I mean, well, definitely with what is going on in the neighboring waters, I think it is garnering a lot of international attention. So I think people feel like they have a right um, to make a statement and things like that. Our country, our little country, has been under siege for a very long time and nothing has been done. And while I still feel like the whole issue needs to be treated very, very delicately and diplomatically, I think for the first time in a long time, everybody is very happy that at least something is being done. Another thing too, we have never put God out of our thoughts to tell Colombia how to run their country. I don't know why they feel now it is appropriate for them to dictate or demand how we should go about fighting crime in our country. I Is it that they don't believe in sovereignty? So I have to agree that if anybody's wash ashore, then of course we will retrieve them, we will recover them. But no, we are not spending our resources to go and look for the bodies of persons who had intentions of conducting activities that ultimately were going to hurt our society. So I think it is you need to pick a side. As delicate as the issue is, you definitely need to know where you're standing and why you're taking a particular approach. And I mean, there's a lot more developments that are going to come out over the next months and even years. I know our prime minister is going to be having talks with the U.S. next week and things like that. More and more things are going to unfold. But I have to say, personally, I feel really happy that for the first time, we're not feeling as though we are losing the war on crime that was running over our country and had everybody running scared.
Totally agreed. And because we started late and we're going to wrap up shortly, I cannot agree with you more because we don't interfere with Colombia, excuse me, and Venezuela. But you know what, the PNM, because they heard that our prime minister is a drunk, because all those things were echoed. They feel, and she said it, she's a small frame woman and she's little, a little handful, so they feel they could get away, tell us what they want because she's a woman. Hello, but don't mess with our prime minister because she's not making joke this time around. So let them go ahead and feel she's going to be intimidated by all of them. They have it wrong this time. Our prime minister is not intimidated by none of them. And this is why we would stand our grounds with them. She sent back and let them know what time of the day it is and who in this country want to talk their foolishness. Let them continue to talk. Let the PNM continue to talk because they are the ones who have it the way it is that these country feel they could talk to our government how they want. But she's not afraid of them and we are not afraid of them. All right, so I totally support that. And while I'm at that, I want to talk about the Global Caribbean Global Leader Award 2025 that was declared our Prime Minister won. Okay, and I think that she would be attending that CGA ceremony in England. whatever, we want to say congratulations to our Prime Minister. She is the best Prime Minister in the Caribbean. There's nobody that can touch the heart of that woman. She's a caring person, and we are seeing she is stern, she is strong, she's not backing back, she is not giving up, she's not surrendering. She's going to let us have it the way it is supposed to be because she cares about the people, she cares about the citizens of this country. So I am saying congratulations to our Prime Minister, the one and only Mrs. Kamala Prasad Bissessa, SC. Thank God for that. She is the best leader.
Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister Kamala Prasad Bissessa has been named the 2025 Caribbean Global Leader in the People's Choice category, the only award at the Caribbean Global Awards decided entirely by public vote. Prasad Bissessa topped a field of 58 regional leaders receiving 3,850 votes, edging out Barbados' Mia Motley, Jamaica's Andrew Holness and others. The vote was certified by an independent regional panel. The win follows a successful campaign led by her United National Congress in the final days of voting. She now heads to London in September to accept the award at the CGA ceremony. This marks another milestone for Prasad Bissessa, who returned to office in April after a decisive election victory, her second term as Prime Minister.
And there you have it. There you have it. She is the best Prime Minister in the Caribbean. And, I am happy and I congratulate her because she has worked hard for this award. She has been working tirelessly when everybody is sleeping. She is up doing what is needed to be done to bring this country back to the paradise that they used to talk about, but it will be better than even then. I want to run straight in Hadassa to a clip that I came across, and I was so moved by it because he was speaking the truth. Let's take a look at this clip with deceased Abu Bakr.
Into what that's contributing
where have you been in Trinidad since you're here?
Port of Spain, we were in Leban's Hill, we were at the university, we were in Beetham, we were in John John for a little bit.
You didn't see nothing? Go and look at the affluence in Trinidad, and you know in Brooklyn you can find the affluence that exists in Trinidad nowhere.
And you think it's all coming from the drug trade?
All of it, yeah. All, not part, but all.
All of it?
Yeah. How else were you talking about?
So then, I mean, it seems like it's very easy for the government then to blame the kids in John John and Beetham, and that's why they're going in there.
Listen, you have sense, I'm sure. You are insulting my intelligence. Yeah? You, a drug dealer will live in Beetham. Drug dealers live in sprawling mansions with swimming pools and cars, and you've been in John John. Have you seen any sprawling mansions in John John? You seen any swimming pools in John John? You seen any lavish cars? Come on now. Come on. Don't insult my intelligence. You know that. You know how drug dealers live? Sprawling mansions.
They live well.
Yes, of course. So that's why I say go to the other parts of Trinidad and see how those people live in, and you want to know 1.3 million people, where is money coming from? I mean, what is selling to make this money?
Well, you heard it. And when I came across that, I said, wow, this is absolutely true. And we want to blame the little black boy, the little Indian boys, the little whoever, but it is the government. And when this interview took place, we know who was in power. And I believe it with all my heart. It is the government. There are persons who are living, no drug dealers living in the Beetham. Them little fellas that had a little gold and blinging and stuff. It's just the scapegoat. But who brings in the guns and the drugs and everything else? Let us be wise. Let us open our eyes. And that is the next thing I want to see being tackled in this country. I know that is very heavy because the groups say that they are the smallest but the most powerful. And you know who they work together with? The PNM. All right, so let's take that interview. That is real, and the deceased Abu Bakr wasn't afraid to speak the truth. Right? People coming and talking about the little fellas and them in the Beetham. They're nobody. The police could shoot them down in 2 tools. All right, but it's who bringing in the guns and the drugs. Those are the criminals. Those are the real criminals. Those are the ones who are destroying our country, not those little fellas. So I'm really thankful for that.
Indeed. I mean, I know our Attorney General, John Jeremy, said that he has his eyes on white collar crime, and it's something that he's going to be focusing on in this next term. And the thing about it is every time you see something happen and they quick to um, name certain persons and put certain faces on the newspaper to say, hey, this one steal a cow, this one rob a bakery or whatnot. It is while that is happening, yes, it is all distraction from the persons who are really committing the crime of robbing people in this country of their futures, and stealing money and doing the type of crimes that has caused some communities to be in an abject state of poverty and violence. So yeah, let us not be fooled about what is happening, and we should actually support our prime minister in her fight to take these criminals down. I mean, I have seen for the last couple of months the PNM beaten up, like when you spray a cockroach because they are so incensed by the stripping of CPAP and URP and the reforestation program and all these ways, these legitimate ways that they have used to steal money and to filter money into crime and things like that. So it is a new day, and we need to support the government's efforts, and we need to push back against those persons who try to convince you that it is something else, right?
Definitely, definitely. And here, as we're going to end, we have come to the end of it, but we have one more clip. And this one, it nice. This one could make you just laugh, right? Again, it comes down to the P&M. This is what they are about: power and profits, right? And you see a clip here that has been on the news. P&M Foster Cummins and his wife Juliet Cummins bagged 15.6 million in agency contracts before election, just before election. And this is why they don't want the CPEP to done, and they don't, because these are the things that created the crime in our country. Those were the things, and a set of bad boys. I've heard of the
And
money
the
land
inequality.
grabbing. Yes, you understand? So this is what we're talking about. This is why the PNM so hurt that they lose the election. They wasn't expecting, but the people got fed up of them. They got fed up of the fact that crime was ongoing and no handle on it. Nothing. Everybody was just doing what they want. And these are the guys who living it up, and the people suffering on the ground. Oh, but to God be all the glory. Great things is being done. And I want to thank our Prime Minister. And I mean, all the kudos really go to her, because she was the one who, would have chosen the persons to represent in different constituency and so on. Some of us probably was not happy with all that was happening. But listen, we have to trust our leader. We have to trust the God that she is working with. She always said, put God in front and let us walk behind. And this woman is so brilliant. Our prime minister is the most brilliant person I've ever met in this country. And I'm saying not only in this country, but across the globe to a great extent. She is very brilliant. And when people think she's stupid, you could go and say all that you want to say to her. She's not. She listened to you, and she's a person who is very insightful. So I thank God for her, and we'll continue to keep her in our prayer for her safety and the safety of our ministers, because we need this country to start going forward in a better way, not what we knew for the last decade. So I want to thank all of you, my viewers. I want to thank my co-host. Time has gone and we need to get off. But you know what? We're going to be back on Thursday, and hopefully we'll be able to even share some more of what we spoke about tonight. Hopefully we'll start on time. We wouldn't have any difficulties. And my producer is laughing, but we're just hoping that all is going to go well. You all have a wonderful night, and the next couple days of the week, please be safe. And remember, we have said it, you have heard it. Now you do something about it. Choose to do what you want to do to make it work for you. Blessings in abundance. Goodbye.